What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs got the win at home off of the road trip, right? They just got off the road trip. First game home before they go on another tough road trip, but took on the Memphis Grizzlies. At home, you needed to get this win. I talked about it. This is a game that you could not afford to lose. You could not afford to drop. They have a very tough stretch ahead. Right? You got to continue to beat these teams that you're supposed to beat. Look, Memphis didn't have Ja Morant, but they still have several good quality players that could have, some of these guys did light up, the San Antonio Spurs. Zach Edey had a 19 and 15 game. Wells gave you 20 plus. Spencer gave you 21 plus, right? These are guys that are, that we've seen in other games, other matchups. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you could kind of fall behind the eight ball. And there was a couple moments there, particularly in that fourth quarter even, where it looked like, oh no, come on, man, Spurs aren't going to do this again. We've seen this happen a couple times in the last kind of few games where Spurs kind of, within range, keeping distance, looking good. You start up, 36-32, but then again, giving up that 40-point third quarter. It was 39, so it wasn't quite 40, but still, right? You look at the quarters, 32-27, beautiful, nice half, right? Playing defense, and then get outscored 39-34. It's not where you want to be. And then to go into that fourth quarter and 5 minutes into the game, they only had 2 points. And it's not again. Come on, please do not let this happen again where Spurs start to get behind the eight ball. Team starts to run away with it in the fourth, and they just have that collapse. I didn't want to see that collapse, but they right the ship, got what they needed to together and in order, ended up rallying out and winning this game. Harrison Barnes, give him the MVP. He was spectacular throughout this game. De'Aaron Fox, his point total really kind of racked up at the end because of the free throws, the foul game. But really throughout the entirety of the game, Harrison Barnes was the best player. The guy was hitting big shot after big shot, big moment after big moment. You also had Dylan Harper hit a couple huge shots. He had kind of a solid all-around game, 15 points, 6 assists, 1 rebound in 21 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and the 1 3 that he hit was the one that actually tied the game, that kind of, got the Spurs back into the thick of it and allowed them to rattle off that win and come back and get the job done. But, again, this was just solid game. You had several guys, you had a balanced game. You had several guys in the starting unit with double figures in Harrison Barnes, mentioned 31, Fox over 30, and then Devin Vassell with 12. Keldon Johnson off the bench gave you 11, 6, and 4. He continues to just be quality off the bench for them. He's a guy that you can kind of almost clock him in to just give you that, double-digit scoring off the bench, grab a couple boards, make a couple plays. Really like what we're seeing from him. Dylan Harper, like I mentioned, he was great. Jeremy Sohan, I thought in the limited minutes that he played, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he had a couple nice moments and stuff. Zach Edey's he's a big body, big guy. But this was a game, like I mentioned, going into, you couldn't run the risk of taking that L, right? You have a tough road trip coming up off of just getting off of a road trip where, hey, they stayed afloat, they tread water like I talked about, right? They lost the last game against Minnesota, which is just that was one of those games where it's you had it and then you let it slip away there in that fourth and just weren't able to stop the bleeding and it ended up getting away from you there. Didn't want to see that again. And again, it was kind of heading in that direction for a moment. And you're kind of please, let's calm this down here. But, credit the Spurs for, coming together and really hitting some big shots. Like I said, there were several guys that hit some big shots and they were able to pull out this win. But like I said, you got coming up several more road games, right? Their schedule is it's brutal. You got the Orlando Magic, right? Tomorrow, by the way, right? So they have a back-to-back. They played at home, and now they got to fly to Orlando and play Orlando. So on a back-to-back. So you got Orlando, you got Cleveland, you got the Pelicans, and then the Lakers, right? You do have a 3-day kind of break in between the Cavs and the Pelicans game, but these next 3 games, Like I said, back-to-back Grizzlies, Magic, and then you got a day off, and then you go play the Cavs. So you got to fly to Cleveland, and then you get that little 2-day break. Really, it's 2-day break, and then you got the game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and then the Lakers. That Laker game is the quarterfinal game for the in-season tournament. And like I said, we'll see if Stephon Castle's back at that point, if Victor Wembanyama's back at that point. We were a couple weeks away a couple weeks ago. Once again, I've talked about, I don't want them to rush these guys back. Spurs can keep staying resilient, keep staying afloat, right? They keep hovering around. That's all you want to see, right? Like just keep your head above water during this time. And if you can stay out ahead, which right now they have been, right? Successful homestand, washed the road trip, and then pulled out this win at home again. So again, you maintain and continue to get the wins at home. You're again staying afloat. Your head in the win total, right? You don't want to start this start to decline. You got to unfortunately get in and handle business against the Orlando Magic. Obviously it would be nice to kind of get a day off or two in between before you got to go fly to Orlando, take on the Orlando Magic. But it's how it is, right? So this month I've talked about in particular it's going to be a tough month. You got a lot of tough games. You got a lot of tough matchups. You got several games that you should win, but that's why, again, games like this Memphis game are so important, right? Because if you lose this game, now you're in trouble to where it's like, if you go on a losing streak, it's the Western Conference, right? Like if this was the Eastern Conference, probably wouldn't feel as bad. Probably feel a different type of way. But it being the Western Conference, gives me some concern, right? Because, the Spurs, for example, they were the 2 seed like a week ago. And right now, they're the 4 seed, which they're still within range, only a game back of the Lakers. But still, right? You look at where they're ahead, they are only 2 games back of falling into the play-in, right? In the 7th seed. That's how tight it's going to be. And it's probably going to be like that the entire time. So if you're the Spurs, you need to keep winning these games that you're supposed to win. You need to keep handling business in the areas that you're supposed to handle. It's a great win. De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes really stepped up huge for this team. Like I said, Dylan Harper hit a huge 3 down the stretch that was able to rattle off and get you that win. All these things are just important, right? Continue to win, continue to build that confidence, continue to project in the right direction. Go get this win tomorrow. Again, it's going to be a tough fought win, but hey, as long as you come out ahead. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you might like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So if you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.